Pakistan may be the greatest Tekken region at this moment in time. And no matter what you think of him, Arslan Ash is one of the greatest players to ever touch this game. 5 Evos within 5 years, a Tekken World Tour Championship under his belt. It's really hard to argue with the greatness of the man. Since we've seen him on the international stage, he has been good. And you expect a top 8, top 4, top 3, top 2 performance from him every time you see him in a tournament. And I think there's really no room for argument when it comes to that. You know, we've seen his results, we've seen what he's done, we've seen what he's elevated his country to as well. I don't think it's any exaggeration to say that Arslan has literally changed the trajectory of his entire country with what he's been able to do. He's been on the news, like literally national news in Pakistan, and he sort of changed the visa process and actually made it easier for others to travel outside of his country for esports events. And all of this in under 6 years. This is quite a transformation he's been able to accomplish. And a lot of it, you have to argue, is off of his own back. He was the first one to go out there. He's the first one to establish a name. And he was one saying Pakistan is a major region. Once they get a chance to travel, they'll do amazingly. And that point has been proven. Now, I say all this to say, we just had the Korea versus Pakistan exhibition happen over in Korea. Pakistan won in the end. I'm going to have so many videos covering some of the players from there. The players I want to highlight, like Numan and the John. I want to break down some of their gameplay because they were really good. So look forward to that. But today I need to talk about something I'm very much tired of. And that is the hate that Arslan Ash gets. Because regardless of what you think of the man, I truly believe some of this is just, it gets unwarranted, it gets disgusting, it's ugly. And it's very annoying for me to see. Yeah, I think it's very annoying for a lot of people to see. People speak about it all the time. People make tweets about it, like, listen, like, it's not that deep. You know, they talk to him being arrogant and this, that, and the other. And to play devil's advocate for just a moment, if anyone deserves to be arrogant, even though he's not, I've met the man, I've spoken to the man in person, we've played games together, we've hung out together, we've eaten food together. If anyone deserves to be arrogant, it's the guy who won 5 Evos in 5 years, Tekken World Tour Championship, so many major tournaments under his belt in such a little amount of time. That would be someone who deserves to be arrogant. But he's not. He's just a confident individual who believed in himself, believed in his region, and has backed that up time and time and time and time again. And if you're wondering what I mean by the hate towards Arslan Ash, you think maybe I'm being a bit hyperbolic or it's not there. I just wanted to show you guys a little story. I want to break down a little story for you guys. A little we're gonna go on a little adventure. So first off, you see this tweet here from John Ding, 210 with the Korean flag. This was after Knee just beat Arslan Ash 10-2 in their first of 10. Amazing performance by Knee. You know, they're watching it, and you take a look at the comments here. You've got, you know, he's gonna come up with another excuse again. Pakistan aren't his only chances to surprise Yoshi pick. You know, people were just saying this, and some people just like the set was amazing and just regaling what happened in the score, etc, etc. But just there wasn't anything crazy. And again, more people like, what's his excuse going to be? Because one thing people complain about Arslan Ash, he makes a lot of excuses when he loses. Sometimes he's just bantering. It's really not as deep as that, and he gets a lot of shit for that, I've noticed. But I think a lot of people get, I think a lot of players do get shit for that type of stuff as well, though. Even if they're not really complaining, if you lose and say anything other than I lost, he was better, people get mad at you, when sometimes it's just not the case. But even with this, sure, there's nothing crazy here, I'd say. Really, there are some people being annoying, like, oh, he's just gonna make excuses again. Nothing crazy here, more just people reacting to the tweet. Now on the next day, Pakistan beats Korea. This is the first day of the actual exhibition begins, and the score was 7-3. Arslan tweets 3-7 with a Pakistani flag. Right? He's just responding to John Ding. He's like, hey, you know, we lost day 1, day 2 we came back 7-3. This is how it goes, right? And if you look under this tweet, you've got, well, losing 10-2 is worse. Good job to Pakistan, you still being shit at this game. Yeah, but 2-10. Guy was holding on to the salt all night. Cringiest player in the FGC. Well, I lost the tweet for a second. Cringiest fighting game player in the community. Some people are like, well done. You know, he's a professional hater. Good performance on day 2. Shit like this is why people don't like your weird ass. Clown, stay humble. And all this type of like, here's my thing at the end of the day. I'll get to my conclusion on this point before I keep talking. I don't think either tweets are an issue, really and truly. When you're typing up these sorts of regional rivalries, this is the type of stuff you're going to do. Like, hey, we won 10-2. Let's parade that score. Hey, we won the second day 7-3. Let's parade that score. You could argue John Ding's tweet was worse because his was a personal score. It was Arslan losing 10-2. You could argue it's worse. I don't think either of them are bad, but if you want to go down that route and say, hey, they're bad, You could argue John Dings is worse because the personal score and Arslan's response is the team's performance. He's lauding the team's performance. Like, hey, it's a team event. The team did well. Like, that's the argument you could make here. But I don't think there's an issue with either tweet. I think this is exactly the type of thing you'd expect in this type of event. These players are playing. They're playing for the regional pride. Let's hype up. Let's get people involved. I think the intention this event had was largely down to, like, you know, Bars and Soup did a good job on Twitter and stuff promoting it, but the players themselves as well, saying some stuff, getting people hyped, getting them involved. You know, this type of banter and shit talk between these two regions is what makes these events fun. I don't know if you guys remember, but a few years ago we did an E versus NA 10v10 exhibition that ended up happening Combo Breaker. Exact same thing was happening. The players are talking on each side. You had myself, Spag, and Joker on one side, go saying stuff. The other side, you like Speed Kicks and other players like saying things, you know, getting people hyped. And then 10v10 happened. It was an amazing event. In this here is KWIS editing from the future, because I just remembered something as I'm talking about the NA versus EU 10v10 that we had. That shit got crazy too, because again, we did have players talking on both sides. I made a video where I played against VDX because he was in Europe at the time. And I was like, hey, NA versus EU is coming up. We played and like I'm shit talking throughout the entire set, like America's not good, whatever, like boring shit like this. And then when Combo Break happened and people were so upset by the things I had to say, there was a whole video of KWIS gets humbled at Combo Breaker 2022. So this is when I lost to Just Frame James at the tournament. A whole video was made. They edited it with like things I said. They put like these these crying eyes over me as I'm thinking mid-set because I lost first game. This will only get worse during Combo Breaker. All right, and things I said during the video, which were part of that banter, was involved. People like, hey man, and then the comment section is same thing as well. Great to see KWIS lose. I've always hated KWIS. KWIS didn't know anything about America. I was told KWIS is not being arrogant. KWIS is humbled. All this type of thing. When all that happened, the stuff that was pulled from that video was just me shit talking VDX, the same manner you see in like the Korea vs Pakistan stuff and the stuff we'll be talking about later on in this video. And then a whole video was made and people like, he's arrogant, he's this, that, and the other. And again, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about now, and this stuff you'll hear me talking about in the rest of the video. So let's get back to it. But in that same event as well, we did have more of this going on. We did have more people saying things out of pocket, being rude to the players, being mean to the players, you know, saying things they didn't have to say, getting involved in and just making things nasty and made unfun for the players. Because when it was all over at the NA versus EU 10v10, we were hanging out afterwards. We had a great time. We're chilling, maybe get some food afterwards. Then we played in the tournament. We had a great time because all friends, all love. And it's going to be the same thing between Korea and Pakistan. After this event was over, the Pakistanis went to the DRX headquarters and started playing more Tekken together. It's just fun. They're having a fun, good time together. In real life, these guys are friends. They hang out. They're chill. Me and Arslan Ash, like as much as they are rivals in game and they play the game, they want to beat each other outside the game. It's not that, you know, it's not this kind of intense rivalry. The things you see like this, you see these type of tweets, you know, sometimes they talk to the players beforehand. They're like, hey, is it cool if I tweet this? You know, you don't mind? Go ahead, they do that. There's no animosity, no anger, but the response, people like, well, you lost 10-2, which is worse. You lost your arch enemy. This means so much to you. You're toxic. You lost 2-10. You were holding on to your salt the whole night. He just replied to a tweet, which was, you know, talking about his personals with his team twin. And to me, it gets ridiculous at this point. It really gets ridiculous. I think the hate that Arslan Ash gets because of his confidence, it gets misconstrued as arrogance. There's an extra layer towards the hate of Arslan Ash, which I'm not going to get into in this video, but I've spoken about it before, and I just can't be bothered for those types of comments on this video. People saying I'm looking too deep into things, but I know what I'm talking about. But I do think one layer, to be completely open and transparent, I do think there is one layer which contributes to it, which is not his fault, actually. There's something that goes on which definitely annoys a large part of the community, and it is not the fault of Arslan Ash, and that is some people within the online Pakistani Tekken community, or just their supporters or fans, they might even be Pakistani. I spoke about this before. I made videos about this. I made videos back about this in Tekken 7 because it was an issue back then, and it is still an issue now. But if you take a look at the way some of these people act, for instance, someone just said they feel like I hate Pakistan. Like, these are the comments from my live stream. So when I live streamed the events, my whole philosophy going into it, because I was streaming with Lotus Asakura at the same time, we both had the same thing. We're like, we don't really care who wins. We just want it to be close. And the first day was not close in any way, shape, or form. Pakistan were dominating. And it's like, I want this to be close. I want as much Tekken as possible. We didn't get that on the first day. But because of that, it's like, you hate Pakistan. I've been to Pakistan. I've hung out with a lot of these guys. I've got food with a lot of these guys. I've met a lot of these players. I've played a lot of these players. I've had conversations with a lot of these players. There's none of that going on. Obviously, these people they don't go outside the rooms. I've never met these players before, whether they are Pakistani or not. But I travel. I go to these events. There's a lot of respect. I think this is something like these guys don't understand. There's a lot of respect between the players that go and travel and hung out, and we actually go offline and we do play against each other. And we play each other. We win or we lose in tournament. There's a lot of respect built between those players. And so when we say these types of things, it has nothing to do with that type of hatred. And I think one of the worst things about these people you see online is they are very sore winners. They are terrible winners. Again, I mentioned our philosophy on the first day, we just want to see a close game, and then someone's reaction is love to see you crying. I wasn't crying. I was enjoying myself, having a good time. But it's this type of mentality of like, if we win and someone's not happy about it, we want to kick you when you're down. Yes, love to see you guys crying. Pakistan #1. It's a very aggressive, angry community when they win, and when they lose, the excuses fall out of the bucket. They make more excuses than people claim that Arslan does. And I think this part of the community makes people not want to root for the players, because they know if they do win, we see stuff like this, and it's exactly what happened. Also, a very weird comment here saying you're my favorite black person ever. Martin Luther King comes close second. It's weird. Don't say stuff like this. Same again. Going to the next day, we have just crime war haters. Pakistan's the best Tekken region in the world. Debates over. They get very... K-Wiss is jealous of Pakistani players. Again, because I'm not sitting there like, yes, go Pakistan. You know, I'm happy when a player wins on either side if it keeps it close. But because I'm not sitting there like, yes, go Pakistan, I'm happy to see Pakistan winning. Yes, let's go. Grr. I'm jealous of Pakistanis, and I hate Pakistan, and I don't like them. Now, anyone that's actually pays attention to my content, knows me, has ever met me, heard me speak about these players, knows that is simply not the case. However, a lot of these guys, what this conflates to is me just hating Pakistan or being jealous of the players. When a big reason as to why people might... So there's many reasons to why you may not want the Pakistani players to win, for example, right? Like, if you take this event, for example, we've known the Korean players for longer. They've been around for longer. People have built them up to legendary status in their head. To some people, Nee is the best player to ever touch this game. And you want to see that type of guy win. He's your superhero. You don't want to see your superhero lose. You don't want to see your superhero's team lose. Therefore, you are rooting for Korea, not against Pakistan. A lot of these people take the positive feelings towards the opponent of Pakistan as a hatred for Pakistan, when that simply is not the case. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some people that do hate Pakistan unjustly, and we see a lot of them under Arslan Ash's tweet here. And to these people, you know, they make the whole situation worse. Obviously, what I'm saying right now, maybe what this video comes down to and conflates to is why I'm people nice on the internet. But I'm just trying to make my own spaces, the Tekken community, as positive as I can be, and sort of break things down so we get less of this if possible. Because again, it is really frustrating. It's really annoying for people in the community to deal with. It hurts the players in the day. Like, if you're one of these people that's going to go and leave comments about this guy is jealous of Pakistan because he wasn't happy with them bodying Korea the first day and the event doesn't get close with it, I get less content to watch. You know, you're not helping things for anyone, for either side. It makes things unfun for everyone getting involved. Besides yourself, maybe you enjoy being an annoying prick on the internet. But for the most part, not a lot of people enjoy that. Like, I just opened Twitter right now, and I was looking for this tweet, but my Twitter refreshed and I lost it. But if you look at what's going on right now, we have NA versus EU discourse happening right now, right this moment in time. You know, because again, people will say Korea versus Pakistan is so good, let's get NA versus EU, and we're getting the same thing happening. You see Joker's tweet right now. And again, I'm gonna rip the mask off for a second. I'm gonna pull down the veil for a moment. But, you know, Shadow made a tweet here about like, hey, you know, don't care about any versus EU. The EU players, you know, they hold L's, they wouldn't give a fuck. Then Joker's like, Shadow, you know, beating me in your entire Tekken career, multiple Tekken games. And speakers, I beat you so badly in London, you told me you didn't want to play anymore. Tapped out, EU wins 3. Now, again, I'm sorry I'm going to rip the veil for a second, but everyone involved is friendly and friends, and we've met multiple times offline at events. If you see me ever shit talk Shadow or anything online and stuff like that, I've met the guy multiple times. We've hung out, we've chilled, we've spoken multiple times. It's all in a place of friendly banter. Because again, it's starting up again, and it's cool and it's nice to see, but I kind of want to nip this type of behavior in the bud. because again, it gets really frustrating when as top players and chill guys, we're like, hey, let's start some shit talk between us, because what makes it so fun is we are strong players and we don't know who's going to win when this happens, and it's like Goliath versus Goliath, and that's really fun, which is what has made something like the Knee versus Arslan Ash rivalry so intense, so crazy. The same versus the Korea versus Pakistan rivalry, which is so intense to the point you have one day it's 10-2 in favor of Knee, the next day Pakistan are winning 7-3. You get to the final day, the finals was what, 13-9, which was a close score by the end of it. So it's like, this is the stuff that makes the game exciting. I do think that that Bandai Namco and the Tekken team are lacking in sort of marketing aspects and stuff they do for promoting the game and the esports side. So the players sometimes pick up the slack. They did an amazing job of it here. Obviously, some people do too much, but hey, you lost 10-2, you know, shit like that. They do too much when it comes down to it, but like, they've done an amazing job here. The event was a big success. People are now asking for more team tournaments, more nation-based team tournaments. You've got, you know, Tetsu talking about all the American players he's beaten. You've got Joker talking about in tweets as well. I'm probably gonna get on my own horse as well and get back to it, because NA versus you was an amazing event that we had. Love to get something like that again, but it's just the communities, like the people on here hating on Arslan Ash, like the people on here getting mad at people for not praising and getting on their knees and raising their arms at the Lord and Savior that is Pakistani Tekken. You know, getting mad at these people, like, you guys, I hate them. Cry more haters. You hate Arslan Ash, you hate Pakistan. Like, none of this is helpful to anyone. You know, I feel like this type of banter between the players is fun. It creates extra layers that you got to back up the shit talk. And at the end of the day, when everything is all said and done and it's over, the players are friends at the end of the day. Like, as I spoke about, once the Korea versus Pakistan exhibition was over, those guys were at the DRX studio. They were playing more Tekken. They were having some good games and enjoying each other's company. So if there is a moral to today's story, a moral to today's video, it's just don't be a shithead on the internet. Let the players talk. Let the players play. Let people be confident. The idea of humility that some people have in their minds is that people they'll never say they're a good player. They won't even believe they're a good player. And the moment they do anything indicating that, you are arrogant, you're a piece of shit. Fuck you, Arslan Ash. I can't believe you'd say you're a good player when you won 5 Evos in 5 years. The only Tekken player to win an Evo Japan and an Evo Vegas in the same year. I don't know what else there is to say really at this point. Like, people are gonna hate him. It is what it is. I think he doesn't bring it on himself. You can argue there are sometimes maybe he makes a tweet complaining about this, that, and the other. He doesn't like something, but at the end of the day, it's like, who really cares? You know, I think Tekken 8 has been an interesting game, and it's in its first year. It's been good in some points and bad in some points. I think he's praised it when it is good, and he has hated it when it is bad. I think that's the same for a lot of people, myself included. When the game has been in bad spots, I call that out. When it's in good spots, I praise it, because I feel like it's important and it's fair and it gets things going and it lets the devs know. I think the devs are more likely to take on negative feedback from someone who has also been fair in the past with their criticism. Therefore, more likely to hopefully listen to some of the things I have to say, or the community has to say, or Arslan Ash has to say, when they are positive. However, the same thing will get loaded my way. For example, if I say something's good, I'm always a shill. And if I say something bad, they ignore that because it ruins their narrative that I am a shill. And that's kind of how the internet works today, unfortunately. But I'm hoping there's anything you take from this video is that Arslan Ash is not some evil dictator that is out there to steal your Tekken points or something. I don't know why people hate him. I don't know what they think he's doing or what he's gonna do. So I have to make something up. But yeah, if that's the only thing to take from that, it's that. Also, let the players talk. Let the players have fun. Don't be that guy who just ruins it for everyone and makes it unfun, because then no one's gonna like you. So yeah, that's gonna be all from me. Please like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed. Our regularly scheduled programming begins tomorrow. Resumes tomorrow. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.